The Trump campaign is lashing out against a Senate memo that was sent out. This is a story that was covered by TYT earlier, but the update is that the Trump campaign is losing its mind over it. Now, the memo urged Republican senators to avoid defending Donald Trump's disastrous response to COVID-19. However, it does say, yeah, the xenophobic stuff and the anti-China stuff, that plays well. So if you want, you can go ahead and amplify that, but stay away from defending Trump in, any other way that he's responded to the virus, because it's been a disaster and we might lose the Senate. That was the essence of the memo. Well, apparently, Trump and his cronies and his campaign didn't like that. So Trump political advisor Justin Clark told NRSC executive director Kevin McLaughlin that any Republican candidate who followed that memo's advice shouldn't expect the active support of the reelection campaign and risk losing the support of Republican voters. Now, there is some truth to that, because while normal, living, breathing, thinking humans look at the Trump administration and realize what a disaster it is, Republican voters still see him as a great leader. He has very high marks among Republican voters. So if Trump decides that he wants to target a vulnerable Senate Republican, he definitely could, and it could destroy their political future, right? Now, Clark was also quoted as saying, candidates will listen to the bad advice in this memo at their own peril. President Trump enjoys unprecedented support among Republican voters, and everyone on the ballot in November will want to tap into that enthusiasm. The president's campaign, the RNC, and the NRSC are firmly on the same page here. By the way, McLaughlin then responded by getting down on his knees and begging for forgiveness. He responded by saying he agreed with the Trump campaign's position. And according to two people familiar with the conversation, clarified that the committee wasn't advising candidates to not defend Trump over his response. By the way, here's what the response specifically said. Don't defend Trump other than the China travel ban. Attack China. Yeah.
That's literally what it said.
That's what it said, yes. So I have more for you, but Cenk, it's one of my favorite things to see Republicans try to be like the tough guys, and then Trump comes in and he's like, I'm now going to castrate you. And then he does it, and then they all apologize and end up, looking like absolute losers, for the public to feast on.
Yeah, so Anna, that was definitely going to be my favorite part of the story until you just said they try to look like tough guys, which I didn't know tough guys do this to look tough, but okay. All right, so number one, Republican polls ain't nothing to mess with. So when they are talking to the press, they demand political correctness. Don't say that we're wrong about things that we're objectively wrong about, otherwise you're biased. You have to call everything 50-50. Could be 99% of the world's scientists say climate change. I say otherwise. You have to report it 50-50. They demand political correctness. But when it comes to their polling, no. They're super real, because they have to have the right information to win elections. And the Republicans aren't messing around with that. So their polling indicates if you are racist towards the Chinese, that will work. That is why they're telling the Senate candidates, attack China, make it seem like a Chinese problem. And in the memo, they explain, you'll be called racist. Don't worry about it. Just say, no, I'm not. Okay. This is about the Chinese Communist Party. Okay. So they already know what that's going to result in, but they say do it anyway. So if they're telling those Senate candidates, don't defend Trump, that means the polling shows it ain't going to work. You're going to lose. If you defend Trump, you look like an idiot. Don't do it. So now that's why Trump yelling at them and Trump being the leader of the party could finally get to a point where there's going to be just desserts. Okay, so I'll get to that in 1 second. But the reason their polling shows them that and why they're directing him that way is because we're past the primaries. So Trump says, I'll target you. And if he does during a primary, you very likely will lose. But a lot of these folks are already past their primaries. Now they're headed into general elections. Mitch McConnell, even their leader, his approval ratings at 26%. That's disastrous. In a general election, you have to win the middle, the independents. And there's about 15% left of the country that is undecided. Now, of course, it varies by state, etc. But those guys a lot of them have turned on Trump, not the Republicans. That's why in a primary you'll lose if you cross Trump. But in the general election, he's lost at least 2/3 of the independents. So when you have Republican senators in Colorado, which is a swing state that's actually leaning blue, maybe all the way into the future, and you got Cory Gardner there, you've got Maine, you've got all these vulnerable senators. Even in Arizona, they're vulnerable. So that is why the Republican staff memo is saying, Senate memo is saying, don't defend Trump. Pivot. Go do a distraction. Talk about China instead. So now when Trump comes in and gets emotional about that and uses his usual crying and bullying tactic. I can't believe you said mean things about me. Oh yeah, you better not. And so then the Republican officials are worried about their jobs within the bureaucracy and the party because Trump can end them there. So they then turn around and go, oh, I'm so sorry, Master. Master, I'll never do it again. I don't know if they put like a fake hunch just like complete the picture and the visual, but like, sorry, Master. We'll tell them all to defend you, Master. And so now these senators might just walk off a cliff like lemmings because their leader told them to, which would be awesome. So likely they'll ignore him. They'll say, oh, yes, sir, absolutely, sir. What do you need me to kiss, sir? And probably do the opposite. But if they're stupid enough to listen to him, it'll be the end of them. And the Democrats might have the Senate as well.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.